Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the National Association of FHA Consultants and 203K in the Box Power Team web conference call for March 2017. I want to thank you all so much for being on the webinar this evening. We are going to be covering a lot of information tonight. This is our All Power Team webinar, and in the All Power Team webinar, what we do is we actually will be sharing information and letting you be the persons that dictate where this conversation goes today. So now each of you have been self-muted. Actually we have unmuted every one of you so that you can actually self-mute. Okay, so I just unmuted someone who needs to mute themselves. Okay, perfect. So I can tell who is, so I have no problem with having you keep an open mic, ladies and gentlemen. If you have self-muted and you want to unclick to ask a question, I'd like it to be an open dialogue, okay, to the best of our ability tonight. So what I want to do, first of all, tonight we're going to be doing a kind of like a taking of the pulse of the membership conversation tonight. I'm going to be asking I'm going to pose some questions to you all and actually put up some polls to ask you guys all to answer. And we're actually going to send out a survey to all the membership following this webinar with the same questions that we want to ask you to give answers to, because it's going to help us decide where our direction is going to be moving forward. So I want to thank you so much. First of all, I want to talk to you about 203K Consulting and how powerful it is. What you're looking at right here is an article that I actually copied from a website that I have on my feed, my news feed, that from February 27th, actually, so just a month ago, a little less than a month ago, this article came out on the internet. I didn't post it onto the NAFHAC Facebook page because I wanted to hold it till we actually had this conversation tonight, and then I'm actually giving you this article for you to be able to publish and give out to your audiences of home buyers and real estate agents and lenders. In fact, if you look on your dashboard of your, if you look on the dashboard on your GoToWebinar, you will see that there are two handouts. One is the 2016 FHA Annual Report, which we went over in January, and the other one is the FHA Loan Article 2017-02. So this is the article that I'm just now describing. So everybody, raise your hand if you see that handout in your GoToWebinar screen. Okay, just a few. Okay, so look in the section that says handouts. Okay, excellent, great. Now, if you go to that handout, you can actually double click it and download it to your computer. So I'm going to lower everybody's hands. So I'd like everybody to click it now and download this article. So how many of you done that? All right, so what I want to do today is, I don't often do this, as you know. I usually just share information and let you guys just have at it. But today, I actually am going to talk about this article a bit because this is actually the heart of where we are at as FHA consultants and with our association of NAFHAC. First of all, I want to show you where to find information like this so that anytime you are looking for articles or details about your industry, that you can have no trouble finding it. So, first of all you have to do is go to your Google screen and type in 203K loans. Okay, I wrote in the news, but you don't have to do that. Just hit 203K loans, hit the enter button, and then you're going to have a button right here that says in the news. Right here that says news. Okay, so here you can see, you click that and it actually will give you information. So now here is another article that we're going to talk about next month in April about the difference between Fannie Mae and the 203K. But if you want to get a jump on that article, here it is. Okay, and then here's a lady who in March 2013, she's been doing home loans since 2008. She decided to specialize in 203K loans in Fannie Mae. And here you can see the FHA 203K loan program provides home buyers the opportunity to buy and fix homes, purchase loans, and they have increased 57% of all mortgages. All right, so as you can see, there are some fantastic articles that are available for you to look at that describe interesting facts in the news about 203K. And here you can see 1,700 results about 203K. Now, some of it are weird things that just mention 203K, like when Wells Fargo, screwed people over. Everybody heard about that. And then PHH slashes jobs, okay? And this is just a couple days ago. And so there's a lot of things that you need to stay focused on with this industry. So now here you see this create alert button. Very simply, all you have to do is hit that button, and this will create an email alert for me so that, and you can see the different options, at most once a day in the news, English, any region. So I'm going to say United States. And how many, I'm going to put only the best results, and it's going to send it to my email address. So I'm going to hit create alert. Now I already had this in there, as you can see that it is already there, but I'm actually putting it in twice. Okay, so now they're also asking me for other suggestions if I want. But you see I already had it in there. So now I have this alert coming in two places. One, it's coming into my regular name, and one, it's coming to my Catherine Hall Unlimited, and one, it's coming into my NAFHAC account. So I already had it there, but I wanted to show you how you could set it up so that this critical information can be filtered out through all of the internet emails and internet articles and sent to you those things that are important to you. So now, how many of you, by show of hands, how many of you had already known that you could set up an alert to get an email about important things in your world? Raise your hand if you know about that. Okay, so we only had just about 2 people. All right, I'll ask a better question. How many of you are going to create alert for 203K or home inspection or other topics to be able to get pertinent information that you can have? Thank you. Well, that's a better answer. Thank you. I like that answer a lot better. So now what can you do with this information? So now here's this article. It is a fantastic article. It totally supports 203K. Here you can see this article here. And what I did was I took the article, I put it on, I actually branded it. I put the person who wrote the article. I put the NAFHAC logo at the top and at the bottom, and I condensed it into 4 pages, which is 2 sides, 2 pieces of paper double-sided, okay? So I saved it, I got it down into basically just 2 pieces of paper, and so now it is a 4-page article. And what I did was I saved it to a PDF file, and here it is in PDF format. I even put the caption there. Oops, I got to take out that figure 1 part. Hang on, let me fix that. Didn't mean to have that in there. Let me edit that caption. Let's fix this. Okay, great. So that's fixed. So now what I'll do, save it. Okay, so if you have downloaded that article, if you've downloaded that handout, get ready to download it again. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to send it again with that correction on the caption. All right, so I put a caption there. So now I'm going to print it again. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to actually save it as an Adobe PDF. And there it is. And I'm going to replace it. And I'm going to, oh, it's already opened. Okay. So we're going to save it as, I'm going to put 27. Just there you go. Save. So now it's going to save. So I'm going to send that PDF article to you again. What can you do with this article? Make a link and put it on your web page. Print it off. It's just 2 sheets of paper, double-sided, and hand it out to real estate lenders. Condense it, cut out some paragraphs, get it all onto, just get it onto, I'm going to condense it down into just 1 page double-sided with the ability to put some branding for NAFHAC on the back side. And then I'm going to create it into a 1-page double-sided, and I'm going to be giving it out as an email to all of our diamond level members so they can actually have it. And in fact, if they would like us to print copies of it, we actually can print copies of it, and our diamond level members can get copies of this article sent to them with their next monthly supply. And others can, do this on their own, or they can purchase it from us. So now this is something that we're going to put on a nice shiny glossy sheet of paper because it's going to have a lot, and I'm actually going to show you sections of this article that I'm going to highlight. So now let's go back out to that article. There it is. And now I'm going to drag and drop it. So now you can look at it and it's uploaded completely now. So please download it now for yourself. So let's go to the Word file, because this is important, because you have to understand this isn't just me saying this. A lot of you have heard me talk about how great 203K is. Now I'm showing you that it's not just me who says this is great. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight specific sections of this so that I can actually, so that when people are reading it, it's going to call to their attention important elements of the program. So here, the first thing you can see is right off the button, the first sentence is an actual nice grabber. And it says, it's a dilemma for many home buyers. Is it best to buy a turnkey property that maxes out the home buying budget? Or is it better to buy a fixer-upper, knowing that renovations often spiral out of control, possibly beyond what the lender will finance? With the 203K, it's possible to do both. So right here, I'm going to highlight this right off the bat, because this actually is telling us that, hey, that's the best of both worlds. And so then it goes into a brief description of what 203K, and it goes into the fact that the loan is insured by FHA, 3.5% down. Given these parameters, it's fairly easy for borrowers to qualify, even with less than perfect credit history. Okay, so then let's highlight that again, because that's something that we want people to focus on. And then it talks about the difference between the standard and the 203K, and the fact that they have to a consultant becomes involved and works with both the borrower and the contractor to make sure everything is great, and there's draw requests. So that's actually the process, a brief description of 203K. And then it says, although the 203K loan has traditionally been viewed more strictly as a rehab loan and used to move unsold inventory, today it's used for that as well as purely cosmetic renovations. So this is the good news. People do not just think of 203K as fixing what's broke. People are now thinking of the 203K because they want a new kitchen or because they want to finish their basement. That's now what the 203K is being used as, not just for making things right, in addition to something like appliances or adding a level to the home or any of that. So this is a great, for borrowers, they only have to deal with one loan, one payment, one interest rate, and they get the house of their dreams. So right there, for borrowers, this article is selling 203K for us, don't you think? So how many of you think right here off the top of, right here just in the first page, this is a great sales vehicle for 203K? All right, so this is the content of your next office presentation. Just this article, give it out to the real estate agents and go over the highlighted sections I've just put here on just these pages, and you've got a presentation. Guess what? April will be, this is a presentation that we're going to be drafting, and all Diamond level members get this sent to them in a handout, and Gold level members get this to be downloaded. So this is something that's going to be given to them to be able to give a presentation. So 203K loans, low risk for lenders, instant equity for home buyers. So this is a great conversation that can resonate with audiences of loan officers and home buyers. All right, so it talks about what's the catch, and it says there aren't too many drawbacks. But one is that it may be more expensive initially than the more straightforward loan because it has a slightly higher interest rate, although it will vary based upon the application. The difference in interest rate could be as low as 25%. And it also doesn't think this should be a deterrent for borrowers. Director of National Sales for REMN. All right, how many of you have done 203Ks with REMN? Who's also known as Stonegate. Okay, this is one of the companies who is wholesaling these mortgages. So you have your mom and pop brokerage in your local area selling these loans to REMN. So here we have National Director of Sales for REMN doesn't think this should be a deterrent for borrowers. Okay, then here's the thing. How many times have I mentioned to you that typically after they do the 203K, the house are typically worth more, so they have built-in equity immediately. So here you see, in most cases, once the work is completed, the borrowers actually refinance to a little bit lower of an interest rate, and in most cases get rid of the mortgage insurance that was on the loan. In a lot of cases, if you're fixing up a home, typically the value has increased So when people do these 203K/home style loans, the houses are typically worth more now, so they have built-in equity immediately. Now, isn't that a great sentence to underline? It says the 203K loan is also restricted in that it's limited to owner-occupant properties, but if investors want to do it, they have the Fannie Mae Home Style, which is similar to the 203K. So here you're already telling an investor, investors seeking renovations might do better with the Fannie Mae Home Style. And there you can highlight that paragraph. Misconceptions. It's actually a full service article. It actually summarizes everything we want people to know. The 203K loan isn't nearly as popular as it should be, given its convenience and the renovation boom that's been sweeping the country for the past several years. Part of that is because of misconceptions about the loan that are held by both borrower and industry professionals, as well as a lack of awareness about the loan itself. Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that's our job. This loan will be used more once people know more about it. All right, so here it says the 203K loan isn't nearly as popular as it should be, given its convenience and the renovation boom that's been sweeping the country. So right there, that's what people need to know. So it talks about some of these misconceptions center around the length of time it takes to close the loan, as well as the extra legwork that goes into the application before the loan can close. Here's where the fun part is. But for the people who know what they're doing, this really isn't true. So guess what? That gets bolded in another color. I'm putting that in light green, dark green, pale blue. Okay, I'll stick it in pale blue. Because who are the people who know what they're doing? NAFHAC member consultants. We know what we're doing. And this is basically telling everybody, guess what? Work with us. We know what we're doing, and we're going to get you to closing. It's going to make it so easy. You're going to have no difficulty whatsoever, because we're going to have you have a successful experience with this 203K loan. Now I'm going to put it in a dark blue. Bingo. I like that better. But for people who know what they're doing, it really isn't true. So that's us. We know what we're doing. We're the ones who have the expertise. We're the ones that can take 203K to the next level. And so here, let's continue. It's not like, and this is an important thing that I have said to many of you, either at a home buyer education workshop, at a presentation where I met you at a convention or conference, or that you've heard me say many times on presentations, and when you've listened to me teaching this to other home buyers and audiences. It's not like these days, especially because there are lenders that do this all the time now, so it's almost second nature. It's not like that these days. It's not hard, because there's lenders now who do it to the point where it's almost second nature. And so they talks about the fact that borrowers have to get bids and choose one, as well as find an appraiser to review the plans and take the future value. And so it may be a couple extra weeks of work depending on the parties involved. And it may be a bit more difficult to find a contractor who's willing to work with the 203K process and wait for the draws. But Brandau, again, that person who was up here talking earlier, let me get his information. Where is he at? I forget where he was described who he is. I saw him a minute ago. I'm not sure who he is. All right, but he says that shouldn't stop people from taking advantage of this phenomenal product. So borrowers do have to, now this is where we're going to come in. Borrowers have to get bids from contractors, okay? And it may take a couple of extra weeks. We got this. We understand that. So let's put this in here. And it may be a bit difficult to find contractors, not if you as a NAFHAC consultant are seeking out contractors for people to work with. But that should not deter people from taking advantage of this phenomenal product. Okay, so this is just page 2. We've seen people shy away from this because they think that they're going to have these horror stories, or they think it's going to take months and months to close a loan. That's not what we see. We see these loans take no longer than any other loan. Bingo. So you see that? This loan It's really just communication and setting proper expectations. Oh my gosh, we just described a NAFHAC consultant, didn't we? All right, so how many, raise your hand if you don't think this is awesome. Is this not awesome to you guys? I think this is amazing. All right, this just instills me with so much excitement because this is coming from an independent person writing an article that is going to be able to take us into offices and say, look, this is somebody at Homebridge Financial Services and REMN, and major players in the world are saying use 203K. Here it says here, the key is education, and Homebridge has a renovation specialist on the team who teaches loan officers and realtors the right way to do a 203K. Who do you think that is, guys, who works with Homebridge? It's me. I'm just so upset they didn't put my name in it. Okay, that's the only thing I'm upset about. I've been working with Homebridge for about 5 years now. I think it's really important that if someone doesn't do these every day, that they can pick up the phone and say, what am I supposed to do? And guess who they need to say that to? Us. It said he had 203K loans that were closed within 11 days. Now, a few years ago, that was unheard of. Okay, so this is the perfect way to, it talks about hosting webinars every month to train clients on how to properly originate 203K loans. By clients, they're talking about loan companies and the origination process. And so here it talks about the future of 203K. So it says, the volume of these loans has certainly risen, although not nearly as much as you'd think because professionals don't know much about the product. In saying that, however, he says that he's contacted the brokers and bankers on a weekly basis, wanting that he is contacted by brokers and bankers on a weekly basis, wanting to know more about 203K loans. It's definitely on the minds of people because they don't have the cash to actually do the work on their own. I'm having a ball here. And he says, and while he says the loan isn't as difficult as people might think it is, it all depends on the team of people around the loan itself and how well versed they are on the product. In other words, NAFHAC member consultants. People need to be educated. I can't tell you how many times consumers go to one bank and then they end up here because the bank, the lender, doesn't do these at all the time. The process doesn't stop when the loan closes. So you have to have a post-closing department that ensures that the checks go out on time, the borrower is protected, and the process goes smoothly. If that happens, it's a great, great product. All right, and the last page, although interest has increased and we've seen month after month increases just in our own generation, but it's still not as prevalent as we would expect. I still see a huge growth potential in the marketplace. So in other words, guys, you are in the right place at the right time to take advantage of this opportunity. Interest, but for now, it's a little different. Now people want to do it maybe when they purchase the home so that way they do it in one shot and they have one, whoops, sorry, hit the wrong button. I wanted to, hang on, I want to go to my Skype and put myself on Do Not Disturb. So none of those messages pop up. Okay, perfect. All right, great. So let me go back. All right, you there? Okay, great. If interest rates continue to rise as expected, people may be less likely to simply refinance in order to get money for their home improvements. They may increasingly want to do them when they purchase the home so that they won't have to deal with refinancing later down the road. And once people discover that the 203K is one way to do that, the sky's the limit for them and for the business. Is this cool? All right, so I just, like I said, the last sentence is, my greatest advice would be to become an expert. Know the product. Get your network together. Meaning that if you do not have referral partners such as real estate agents or whatever your referrals would be to obtain your business, have your network educated on these loans. There's no reason why you can't close them on time, the same as any other loan, and really be able to expand your product base and your ability to generate business. So my greatest advice would be to become an expert. Know the product, get your network together. In other words, connect with a NAFHAC 203K consultant. So, who here would like to make a comment about this amazing article? Raise your, unmute yourself if you have any comment about what we just read. Go ahead.
I think it's awesome.
Go ahead. Please talk, Tom. Who's
I
speaking?
think it's awesome. It has a lot to offer.
And who's this, Jack?
Yep.
Okay, great, great. Hi, Jack. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent. So does this sound like an article that you want to publish in on your website or give out at real estate offices?
I'm going to take it to an inspection Saturday and hand it to the buyer and just to let them know what we have to offer. It's incredible.
Excellent. And so I'm going to save this document to the same location, and I'm just going to have a separate document called highlighted, okay, because one is the regular document, and now this one is called highlighted, so I'm going to save it in the same place I have the other one. So I'm going to print it to PDF. Actually, I'm going to give it to you guys as just as the actual Word file that I created, so that if you want to trim it down to just 2 pages by taking out some of the extra fluff in it, you can do so. So I will see if I can give that document to you now. I'm not sure if I can give you documents that are not, excuse me, let's see, where did it go? Where'd the file go? Let's see, file. Oh, okay, so it should be called highlighted. Okay, save. All right, great. So now I'm going to give that to you guys. And there it is, highlighted. So I'm going to drag and drop that into the handout section.
Boy, I would love to have your skills on Word.
Hey, okay, you can't use that kind of file. All right, so I'm going to have to send it to you. I'll send you guys the Dropbox link instead. All right, so here I'm going to send that in the chat box. I'm going to give you access to the Dropbox link. So right now, paste and go. So now you can all download that into your own computers. Okay, so anybody else have any other comments about this article? I think it's fantastic, and I'm going to be putting together a presentation, and I'm going to focus on, I'm going to hand this out to people, and then I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to pretty much highlight, I have a slide for every one of the sections that I have in yellow, and go into small details about each one of these presentations. It's going to be like a 15-minute presentation that I'm just going to hop and run and give out to people. Okay, so this is going to be fun. I have been waiting for somebody to say since the election last year that this is a good loan and that life has not ended in the mortgage industry. And this is my first real confident feeling that this loan is going to continue to move. With this kind of publicity, with this kind of popularity, with the work that we're doing at NAFHAC to get this loan known and to get the success of what we do felt, this is going to be something that's going to be very, very popular. I know it, and I believe we are the ones who will make that popularity. We are the ones who are going to be the ones educating. Okay?
And the key is it can be used for cosmetic renovations.
Yes, exactly. So now Ludwig made a comment, and this is an issue that a lot of you are facing, and let's talk about it right now, because this is the crux of the whole process. As a matter of fact, Gail, you just experienced the same situation, finding contractors. Now, first of all, I want you to understand something, and Gail learned this the other day on his coaching call. Gail had a situation, and Gail, you want to just briefly describe your situation?
I really got to blame myself for not reaching out to you sooner. I tried to handle most of this on my own, not realizing early on that it's best to pick one contractor as a general to supervise the 2 or 3 trades that you've got going on. I tried to put it together myself with 2 existing bids and then a few others, small things. It just didn't work out for me. I wound up putting a lot of time and effort into it when I should have originally been looking for a general to handle most of the work.
Now, the good news is that Gail's situation was a small job. It was under $12,000, so it didn't really kill him. But the question was, he couldn't find contractors. And part of his problem, he couldn't find contractors, was because it was a full 203K under $12,000, because it was structural modifications with the tie down of a manufactured home. But the situation is that every one of you is concerned about the contractor issue. Finding contractors is the biggest hot button for all of you. And the best way to answer that question is a three-prong approach to finding contractors, okay? So let's go into that approach to finding contractors, because actually we're going to discuss more of that. We're not going to discuss it in the tech call. We're just going to talk about getting contractors and using contractors with Genesis. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the process of getting the contractors. How do you get the contractors to work with the 203K program? And so basically, you know, building your contractor database. All right, so building your contractor database can be difficult, okay? And it can make it a little bit hard for you to be able to feel confident about what you're doing as a 203K consultant. But the first thing I need you to understand is you are not responsible for finding the contractor for your borrower. All right, that's the first thing you need to know.
That
And
was
Gail,
nice to learn.
Go ahead, Gail.
That was nice to learn, yeah. And that lenders are a lot like real estate agents. They'll push you around and you really can't let them. So.
Exactly. A loan officer is nothing more than a salesperson. He's selling a loan. A real estate agent is selling property. The lender's selling a loan product. You are the consultant. After closing, the disbursement officer is not a salesman. They've already got the loan. They've already got someone making the payment. They're not pushing for that. But the first thing you need to be mindful of is you are not the one that has to do this. Okay. Okay. So now, okay. So yeah. So a couple of questions that came up, and I'll hit them in a minute, guys. So I do see your questions. So Tom, I saw your question, and Jonathan, I'll hit your question in a second. But what Gail had to find out was that he was feeling pressure that he had to find the contractor, and he didn't. You are not required to find the contractor for the borrower. Yes, you should want to facilitate and assist. I can't spell. Facilitate and assist, but it's not your responsibility to find them. Now, with that being said, the second important thing is, where do you find contractors to work with? Okay, so before I just start running it down for you guys, because I always do the hard work, I'd like you guys to give me your suggestions on where you think a consultant can identify contractors to work with. Please just shout them out.
Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Chamber of Commerce. And how did you find that, Gail?
You.
Thank you. There you go, exactly. So anybody else, sing them out. Just unmute yourself and just tell me where are some places that you think that you can find. And exactly, Tom Kruger put one up there. And Tom, you can unmute yourself. He wrote in the EPA list of approved lead qualified, EPA lead safe remodelers. That is a fantastic list. Okay, Ludwig wrote in BNI Group. Yes, these are the places you want to find contractors. Come on, guys, give me something else. Referral networks. Thank you, Jonathan. That was the one I was looking for. I want you to ask the real estate agents that you're working with. Ask the real estate agents. They know contractors because every single one of them at some point is having to have a contractor fix somebody's house to get the closing. Hey, I've got a listing and the appraiser said this needs to be done. Can you help me with this? What can you give me some information on what contractor you feel confident to go into your listings and do repairs, even though he's not going to get paid till after closing. Now, if you've got a real estate agent who knows a contractor who is confident and comfortable and financially stable enough to complete repairs on a property with a handshake and an assurance from the real estate agent that he will get paid either out of the seller's funds or from the listing agent or the seller directly, and he's comfortable enough to do these repairs before the closing to get paid, he is a perfect 203K contractor, because that means he has the money to fund the jobs. So you're going to ask the real estate agents, hey, do you know any contractors who you feel that you can trust to go fix your listing and he's not hounding you for the money and let it wait until closing? Oh yeah, I've got John. He's always there for me. I can call him up and he's out there in a minute. His prices are reasonable. And yeah, he knows that if the deal doesn't die within 3 weeks, I guarantee he gets paid even if I have to pay him, and he is able to fund the job to the end. Now, how many of you believe that there are real estate agents that have contractors like that in their network? Not many. Okay, now hands are going up. Okay, so I'm going to lower your hands again. How many of you have asked the agents to give you that referral? Okay? So you need to just ask them. And then you know what? You need to sell them on the program. And how do you sell them on the program? You describe the fact that, hey, you're going to get guaranteed funds. The money's escrowed. You don't have to begin work until settlement takes place. There's no risk of you fixing a property and then the deal falling through. You're going to be paid to pull the permits. You're going to be able to have a contingency reserve that covers unforeseen problems, so you don't have to worry about hunting a client down to pay you for change orders. Change orders are part of the process. And you're going to have a qualified consultant, me, overseeing the work to ensure that you're going to be able to get paid on time. So now if you run the process down like that, you're going to get the contractors who'll say, hey, okay, I'll give it a try. So now another suggestion Oni said right here is he asked the contractor directly when you run into him. That's right. Just ask. Ask for the business. If you see a contractor, ask them. If I see contractors at a property, if I'm down the block and I'm doing a 203K and I see some people working in a house, I'll walk up and say, hey, is the owner of your company here? Or do you have a foreman or project manager or lead contractor? Yeah, he's over there, such and such. Oh, great. And I give him my card and say, hi, do you have a card on you? I'd like to invite you to consider doing a 203K. I'm going to be having a webinar called Contractor 101. Another great way, and it says this is 60K, 203K, so why are no contractors? Okay, because you might not be going after the right group of people. Okay, talk to some real estate agents. Call the Chamber of Commerce. Go to the list of contractors who are affiliate members of your real estate boards. Okay, so you have associations of realtors, so realtor associations that have affiliates, and look up those contractors and tell them that you'd like to work with them. So that's where and then one thing that I find very successful, I go to Craigslist. I have an ad running in Craigslist. It's $35. It sits there for a month. Okay? Remind me someone to send you a copy of what my ad is in Craigslist in Philadelphia. I keep that ad running every month. It's $35. And basically the ad says, wanted, general contractors and high-level subcontractors for renovation projects in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley. Guaranteed payment of funds through escrow. Qualified consultant to ensure speed and ease of payment of services. Yes, it's a 203K, but when you have the right players in the game, 203Ks can make contractors money. For more information, call or email me. That's what the ad says, and I get at least 3 responses every month. So have any of you thought to put an ad in Craigslist? Or I'll rephrase that. Who would think that they're going to put ads now in Craigslist? It's just like home inspection. I have an ad running for home inspector in Craigslist all the time. I'm always hiring. I'm always looking for someone new to put in my company. I'm always looking for someone else to add to my team, because you never know who might be the next best person that you might want to add to your team. So I'm always open to the possibility of hiring the next great person. Will you find people right away overnight? Maybe not. But if you are in the process of using these steps all the time, and then the next thing you need to do, whoops, and back that up, hang on for a second. The next thing that you need to do is, third, hold Contractor 101 live and webinar trainings frequently during the year. It is a presentation. It is a 4-hour presentation, 2 hours for the contractor, 2 hours for realtor and lender partners. It's a half day at the local Panera or at any kind of meeting place. Hold them 2 or 3 times a year, constantly be pulling in contractors, constantly be pulling in and marketing people to see your professionalism by doing the 203K contractor bid, contractor one-on-one training. You all have this information, and it's a wonderful way to get people to recommend you and to be able to know you. And so instead of you coming to their office all the time, you can bring them to your event. Maybe even hold it in your office if you have the facilities to do so. If you don't, no worries. The local Panera, most local Paneras have like a conference area that you can shut the room and have access to, and you can get the free Panera food right there. So does this help you, Ludwig, with an understanding of some ways that you can find contractors?
Yes, it helps me, but I've already got 5 or 6 of them on there, and I can't get one single one of them put a bid in. We call them, they answer the phone, they tell us to call back in 10 minutes, and then they won't answer the phone.
Then you need to get more contractors, because they are obviously not motivated, and maybe they're just cherry picking and waiting for the $100,000 jobs. Okay.
I don't know. These were sent to me by the realtor who's actually handling this 203K.
Mm-hmm.
The client sent me some of them. I don't know what's wrong.
And are these subcontractors or general contractors?
The general contractors.
And so basically, you know what you do? What is rule number 1? What does rule number 1 say?
Beat them over the head?
No. I like your thinking.
Oh, Catherine?
Yes. Go ahead.
Call Catherine.
Yeah, no, call Catherine. No, that's rule number 1. That is rule number 1. So rule number 1 on this page is you are not responsible for finding the contractor for your borrower. If they're not returning your call, if they're not filling out the bids, what do? Tell the borrower, tell the realtor, hey, look, I've done the best I can. I'm going to have to sit back and wait for these contractors to reach out to me. It's not your job. You're trying to facilitate, and if they're not interested and these were referred to you by the borrower, by the lender, by the realtor, and they're not interested in playing the game, then you can say, look, I'm going to be searching for some other contractors that I know to invite to bid to the process, but I suggest that you reach out to these people yourself and find out if you can motivate them, because obviously I don't have enough pull with them since they don't know me to get them to return my calls and get on the stick. So put it back in the park, to put the ball back in the ballpark of where it belongs, the borrower, the lender, and the realtor. Okay?
And another way in is if you have the paper bid from the contractor, then you can call them and explain that you just need to transfer the bid to Genesis.
Correct.
So if if your client can get the contractor to come out and give a paper bid, which is what I had, it made it a lot easier for me to approach them to make the transfer and go through the steps it goes, to get through Genesis.
Does that help, Ludwig?
Yeah, I was thinking about lighting a fire under them.
Yeah, and it's not the fire. You don't have to light a fire under the contractor. You're going to light the fire under your client and say, hey, look, if you want to get to closing, you've got to get this to me.
Right. That was my mistake. I never used my client. I should have had them doing all the work that I was trying to do to accommodate.
Exactly. So that's what you want to do. That's how you want to approach this.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Excellent. All right. So now let's go back to some other questions that have been, let me see if I can put this here. I'm going to put this file that I just created into your handouts. I can put another file in the handouts here. Whoops, handouts, open handouts. All right, there we go. That file that I tried to do didn't work. Let me see if I can drag this one here. I have to open up the folder. Hang on. So highlighted, where's my article that says highlighted? Okay, so this is how to 3 steps to building your contractor database. Let me just put that in there. I just sent that over to you guys. And the FHA article highlighted, I'm going to save that to a PDF file, and that's going to go into Power Team, and that's saved, and I'll send that file to you now also. So now while we're doing that, okay, so let me close out this file here and that one there, and let's open up that folder, and there it is highlighted. So I'm going to drag that into here so you guys can have that as well, the highlighted file. All right, perfect. All right, so now let's go back to some of the questions, because there are really a couple of great questions here from our members. So now one of the questions was from Jonathan Leahy. Jonathan said he was able to, the question was, he was able to do a 203K on a manufactured with question marks. No lender out here will touch those. Well, they don't have to be lenders out there. You can get lenders from out of state to work with your clients. And so if your loan companies are not doing it, actually, Gail, what is the name of the lending company that is or closing on this manufactured home loan?
I believe it's Homebridge.
That's right. It's REMN Homebridge. Okay, so Jonathan, you can contact Homebridge. They are a national lender, and say, hey, I'm in Denver, Colorado area. I have some clients who are interested in doing 203K rehab loans on manufactured homes that need to be tied down as part of the rehab. I understand you do this in other states. Do you do it in Colorado? Okay, does that help, Jonathan? Okay, so that is, Homebridge is trying to take over the game. They're trying to get up to the top of the list of 203K consultants, and everyone is trying. Pretty much, Wells Fargo has been knocked off their pole position, and which is a good thing because they really are not doing well. One of our members, Kimberly McCauley, is having trouble with a client and a contractor. The client is firing the contractor for reasons that are not anything wrong that he's done, and the lender is not supporting her position with this transaction. So I suggested to Kimberly, do the final inspection, do the contract determination inspection, and then I would just basically say you need to find another consultant, because they didn't want to let the contractor on the premises. They're holding his tools. The job is never going to get past this, because the contractor is not going to sign off on a termination inspection if he's not even allowed to be in the house to see what the things are that he's about to not get paid on. And if he's not going to be allowed in the property to do the final inspection, and he's not getting his tools back, he's going to go to the sheriff and accuse her of them of theft, and a whole bunch of things are going to happen. And I said to Kimberly, you don't want to be in the middle of this. So go out there tomorrow, Friday, do your walkthrough. Don't do a whole lot of talking to this client. Just take notes, take photos, send your report to the lender, and say to the lender, oh, by the way, this is the final job thing I'm going to do for this client. Send me my check. I'm done. He needs to find another consultant, and let it go. Okay? So Tom Kruger asked the question, do we know who Kimberly Banks is with? I do not know. Let me see if I can look that up. And I'm having a little bit of a challenge today with this presentation, because I have only one screen. I'm actually in Florida, and so I'm only working off of one computer screen right now instead of the normal two giant screens I get to work with. So this is from Kimberly Banks, and we can scroll down to the bottom and hopefully see who she is. And let's see, it doesn't say, it says, oh, it doesn't say who she is. I'll have to Google her and find out who she is, and because her conversations are excellent, and her connections with these lenders is pretty phenomenal, who she's speaking with. Okay, so we've got Carl, MNN. Okay, I don't know who Bradow is, but then it doesn't seem to tell us, so I'll do some research, but that's a good question. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. So now I want to ask you guys some questions. Okay, we've been working through a lot of things here, and we've got some really good ideas. And so Jonathan said it doesn't have a mic working today. Don't feel bad. I didn't either for much of the day. And so he says it helps a lot, and this is cool. Thank you. So I want to ask you guys some things. And what I've done is I put together some polls, some questions and polls, and I'd like to actually send out a poll. I'd like to see where you are all at right now. So the question I've asked you now, and I'm launching the poll, so on your screen now, you should be seeing the poll. So the question is, how many 203Ks do you have active going right now? Can you please fill that in for me? If you haven't yet started, or if you're still in the process of getting certified, then you're going to say none, obviously. But those of you who have projects active, not closed or finished, but totally actually ongoing right now, please check one of the boxes there so that we can actually get a feel for where everybody is in the process. So I want to get to see and make it more of an interactive conversation today. So this poll is, oops, hang on, I got to open up the screen. All right. So we have about, let's see, almost 80% have voted. Come on, guys, click those links. 80% of you have voted. Come on, just a few more will vote, and then we'll be good to go. Don't make me reach through the phone. All right, so in 4 seconds, I'm going to end it, no matter what we're at. Okay, so I'm going to say, Matt, I'm going to end it, close the poll. All right, and 80% voted. So now I'm going to show you on your screens now. So what you're seeing on your screen right now, unless I'm mistaken, yep, you see it, great, is the results. So 13% are still working on certification or waiting for their first job to come up, which is great. And then 63% have 1 to 3 active, and then 25% have 4 to 7 active. And that's a really nice number. I'd like to see more, and we're going to do this poll quarterly. At the end of each quarter, I want to see how the numbers go up, and I want to give you guys encouragement, because many of those who say that they have 4 to 7 right now were a couple months ago in the 1 to 3, and even some were in the 0. So that your 203K fortunes will change very quickly. It will not take much time for you to go from 0 to 60. It will really be a quick transition. So that's something that I'm really excited to see is going on, because you're actually this article bears that out. The fact that 203K consultants are coming up and getting business. So let's close that out. All right, perfection. All right, let's close this screen out. Trying to close all the screens on my computer. Perfect. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is what's going to be happening in the world of NAFHAC. Now, first of all, I want to let you know that because I am so busy working with NAFHAC that I'm actually spending 2 weeks each month in Florida, because we're actually going to be having our home office is going to be down here in Florida. It's no coincidence that it also happens to be where my new granddaughter is born. Gee, go figure that. But also it's because Florida is a great destination for people to want to come for events, much more than Philadelphia area is. And people like coming to Florida. Airfare from anywhere in the country to Florida or Las Vegas is usually very, very inexpensive. And so it's really very fun for me to be able to be down here. So now when we were in some recent events we've been to, we've actually been talking to a lot of home inspectors, and everyone keeps saying, your membership is growing. I'm already a member in your group. When are you going to have your own event? When are you going to have an event that's just dedicated totally to an educational training all about 203Ks? A lot of the information that I share with you on a monthly basis needs to be shared with a wider audience, with lenders, with contractors, and with other consultants who are not yet members of our organization. I had a coaching call this morning with a member, Kimberly, and she's in Oklahoma. She has been asked by a lender in Arkansas, which is an over 3-hour drive from her, would she please come do the 203K, some 203Ks for them in Arkansas. She works with them in Oklahoma, and they need her to go to Arkansas because there's 203K consultants there they don't like working with. They never finish the reports. It's never a successful scenario. Would you please come to Arkansas and do these reports for us? So now this is a lender who isn't even concerned about the cost to the borrower for the mileage that's going to take for her to get to do this 203K. All they're worried about is we want this done right. So I asked her to contact the loan officer in question and ask them, would they like me to talk to them? Could I talk to them about having their consultants that they have in Arkansas already become certified NAFHAC consultants and be trained on how to successfully manage and run a 203K job and using the Genesis system. And so her comment was that she would, she'd reach out to them and make that call to find out they're interested in doing it. So now my question to you is, what I am planning to do, what I'm thinking of doing, and I need to get a feel for where you want to do it. How many of you are familiar with the, how many of you are familiar with the training conference that used to be held every October in Las Vegas, it used to be called COA inspection. It used to be called, it was Casey O'Malley did it, and then ProLab did it. It was called the Inspection Conference, Home Inspection Conference in Las Vegas. Matter of fact, let me ask, how many of you met me at the COA Inspection World, or that's Ashley. Ashley has Inspection World. This was called the Inspection Conference in Las Vegas. How many of you met me in Las Vegas? Raise your hand if you met me in Las Vegas. Wow, not many hands went up. That's interesting. Okay, so many of you have met me at smaller events, other local events, or basically Jonathan met me online. Jonathan joined us just from our website. We love you, Jonathan, and always have. We love everybody, but Jonathan's my special. He's the first person who Googled our company on the internet many years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago now, and joined us just by signing up online, purchasing the system, and never looking back. And I have always had a special place for Jonathan in my heart because of that. But my question to you is, and here comes another poll, and please answer it or I'll beat you guys up. Okay, my next question is, we are considering trying to put together a NAFHAC educational conference in October of 2017 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So now, please click the link on that poll right now. How many of you, if you can, how many of you would be interested in coming to a 3-day, totally 203K related conference in Fort Lauderdale in October? All right, so we got 70% voted. Hurry up, get up there. We have 80%. Maybe that last 20% are people who don't have access to, or doing it on a phone or something, don't see it. 90, thank you, I've got 100%. Yay, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's look at our numbers. So it basically is a matter of 40% say yes, they want to come, and the other 50 said, yeah, maybe I need more details. So it sounds like if I got the more information to you guys of what dates it actually would be, etc., then you'd have more feedback. But I needed to feel where you were with it. I've got a lot of interest from sponsors. I've got ProLab and Radalink and ISN all interested in assisting with sponsorship, and I'm sure there's other vendors who would be interested in assisting us, with this event. And so I wanted to find out what your feeling was about this, because we really are about to take this organization to another level. We want to be a full service network that actually addresses all of your needs and helps you in ways that only one other association that I know of really does. And I've actually been talking to them a little bit about how to model after them, and that is with Internachi. So now I have one other question to ask you. In our efforts to try to be a more full service organization to you and to be an association that can supply many of your business needs and assistance, what things do you think that you would like us to do? So now I just put a poll out there right now, and so my question to you is, what, in addition to the support you get as NAFHAC consultants, what kind of support would you like us to provide you? So please select what you feel. Would you like us to provide you with insurance coverages, group health insurance or auto insurance? Would you like us to provide you with an actual call center, a back office that would allow you to be able to have someone answer your phones and know how to answer a phone with a 203K client call and be able to interact with your ISN database? You'd need to have ISN to do this. How many would like us to work on providing other types of discounts or other types of services? Right now we do have a relationship with ProLab, which I'll be sharing with you next month, where if you are using ProLab equipment for your mold, air quality, allergen testing equipment, they're going to give NAFHAC members a special discount price on that, which is something that we want to be able to cultivate relationships with. We also have a relationship with APM, American Payment Merchants, and for your credit card processing, where you can get discounts on the credit card processing services that you're doing. And then anything else that you'd like. If you wrote other, please type in the chat box what kind of things you'd like us to provide you as far as additional support. So because we actually know that I believe InterNACHI has worked out a relationship with Ford that you get dealer pricing on trucks if you are a member of InterNACHI. So these are the kind of things that we're going to try to provide for all of you. So right now I'm going to close this out and share with you guys what the poll looks like. So right now 50% of you want back office support. You want me to set up a back office call center, which is something I'm really excited to work on. I actually already have a lot of that set up to be doing. And I know where it's going to be. I know how it's going to be done. I'm really excited for it. 38% of you want group insurances, and that's exciting. So I'm going to look into that. And 13% of you said other. So if you wrote other, just type in the chat box what you mean by other so I can be able to look into what those options are. So that really helps me get a feel for what you're doing and what you're looking for. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about before I open the lines up to let you guys share a brief 2 minutes on what's going on in your world. So get ready. We're going to start that in a second. And whoops, let me just minimize this here for a second and show my screen. All right, let's see what's happening. All right, good. You are seeing my screen. And it's not working. I hate this thing. Oh, that's right. I've got to close the poll. Okay, great. So let me close the poll. Hello. Forgot to close the poll. So now, what else is coming up? Well, I have something fun to tell you. We have something that's going to be happening in May of this year. I'm really excited about it. Let me just show it to you on the screen. And I'll show it the whole page so you all can see it. So let me stop the poll. And let's see, close the poll. Again, I'm working all this on one page, so let's hide the poll. All right, perfect. You can see my page again. Yay, glad to see it. All right, so we're going to be having in May 5th and 6th, the 203K Discovery Days at the InterNACHI House of Horrors. And what we're going to be doing is InterNACHI has created their House of Horrors. And inside their facility in Boulder, Colorado, they have a full-size house that they have set up to be able to allow people to go through it and look at defects, train to become a home inspector by understanding what those repairs are that they see, going into a crawl space, looking at unique and weird and difficult situations and scenarios that you may not often see, but to help you get a feel for when you do find them, how to respond to them. Have any of you been out to the InterNACHI House of Horrors? Raise your hand if you have. Okay, so nobody has yet. Excellent. Okay, so we would like to invite you all to come to the 203K House of Horrors May 5th and 6th. So now it's going to be a 2-day event. The first day we're going to be going through the property in groups, and we're going to be doing a review of FHA minimum property standards for those of you and FHA appraisal guidelines. We're going to go through the House of Horrors, and you're going to have role-playing opportunities. So you're going to have one person is going to act as the borrower, one person is going to act as the consultant, and then you're going to switch off. And that way you're going to be able to have the details and photographs and information that you need to create a report, a 203K report. And that's going to be the first day. The second day is from 8 to 2, so you have a chance to get back home even on Saturday evening. We're going to be doing the Genesis software. So we're going to, as people come through the House of Horrors in groups of 10, we're only getting up to 60 people, so you need to register quickly. We're doing it in groups of 10, and so while people are rotating through the House of Horrors, they're going to come back and they're going to start being able to enter their Genesis system. They're going to be able to enter their Genesis reports. If people are not yet consultants, we're going to organize the teams going through so that those who are not yet consultants or interested in becoming consultants will be paired up with those of you who are more experienced consultants. And those that are not yet consultants, they're going to go pretty much last. We're going to let you guys go through, and while you're going through earlier in the day, they're going to be learning about FHA minimum property standards and what are the steps necessary to become a consultant, and an overview of the 203K process from initial evaluation through final draw. So we have a full day of activities inside this facility. All meals are included, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the first day, and breakfast and lunch on the second day. And it's just $75 per person, and that includes all the meals and everything. And InterNACHI has a hotel 1 mile away that they have a standing room block of just $99 a night. So for those of you who are in the Colorado area or inside that or close enough to that area or planning a holiday, this is an excellent opportunity for you to be able to come get some of that additional experience and support in working with the 203K program. And so we wanted to find out what your opinion of this event is. And so I've got one, whoops, let's see what do we have here. I have a chat. Someone made a comment and my chat box is not working. There it is. Okay, great. Whoops, not the chat box. Close that. I need the questions box. There it is. Okay, great. I've been there also. I am a local chapter president of Tampa Bay. I'm a local chapter member of the Tampa Bay InterNACHI. Excellent. Very nice. And so we've got a couple people that says, I am in, book it please. So we are working with InterNACHI. They're going to be putting together an Eventbrite URL link. And so once we get that link, we're going to let you know. But I want to get a head count of who is interested in coming. Again, May 5th and 6th. It's a Friday and a Saturday. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is I'm going to put up one last poll. Okay? And that last poll is this. Do you think you'd be interested in attending the 203K Day of Discovery at the InterNACHI House of Horrors in Boulder, Colorado? Now, I do want to let you know, for those of you who are on the East Coast, the event that we're planning in October in Fort Lauderdale will also be involving a House of Horror Day. For those who choose, it will be a pre-event opportunity at the InterNACHI House of Horrors. It's being built in cooperation with ProLab at their facility in Fort Lauderdale. So that's why we're choosing Fort Lauderdale. So with that being said, we do have an option for those in the fall who can't get to Boulder, Colorado to do this. And we're going to be doing this several times a year on both sides of the continent. So we have now a West Coast and an East Coast venue. So we have, but this is going to be the first event, and I'm really looking forward to it. Because it's going to be so close to Denver, we're going to see if we can get the actual director of the Denver Homeownership Center to come and speak to us, maybe as a lunchtime speaker. So we're hoping to be able to have him either be a keynote speaker at lunch or just a breakout session speaker to talk to us. So I am really excited about the support that InterNACHI is giving us. Basically, if you think about it, $75 doesn't even cover 5 meals. Okay, and so we're actually been very happy that InterNACHI is giving me the ability to have access to this facility without costing me any money for the facility. So basically, we're just going to subsidize the little bit of money we're getting from you for the fee for the meal. So with that being said, we're just excited to have everybody who wants to come. So I'm going to close this poll. We have just about everybody has voted. So now, as you can see, 56% of you are going to be able to come, and 22% said they're going to try to work on getting there. So this is the first time many of you are hearing about it. Michael in our office is calling all of our members, starting in Colorado and working his way, close, to the surrounding areas. But we wanted to give you guys a chance to know about it and have an opportunity to come. And so that is the last handout that I wanted to share with you guys, is this 203K Day of Discovery at the House of Horrors. So I just sent that over there. So please download that flyer and make your plans. And if you are interested in going, if you want to go, if you want to be registered, now you need to know InterNACHI is going to be opening up this event to all of their members, and they're going to have a special promotion to their CMI inspectors, because the CMI inspectors are the qualified inspectors who've been doing it for a long time that would be most possibly interested in becoming 203K consultants. So what you need to know is that it's going to fill up quickly. We only can accommodate 60 people. And so if you want to go, please send me an email, send me a Skype message. Let me put your name on the list so I can make sure that you are the first ones to get that URL link. It's going to go out on the website, obviously in an email, but I want to make sure those of you who want to go and want to make sure they're on that list don't get left out when the doors open up, because I expect a flood of interest, especially considering InterNACHI is holding a home inspection training for new home inspectors starting on the Monday following this event. And so if anyone is interested in maybe doing 203Ks and home inspection, they may want to come to this pre-event in advance of the full 5-day training that InterNACHI is doing there at their facility. So please, if you definitely want to go, let me know, get your name to me so that I can know. Okay, so there will be no hypnosis involved, Jack Jackson. Thank you kindly, unless you're going to do it, actually. All right, so very funny. So so we've got people signing up, and we are looking forward, and especially those of you who have been doing it, I'm going to be looking for you to be ambassadors, please, to our members. I'm going to be arriving early. I'm probably going to get there around the 2nd or 3rd of May, and I'm actually going to be meeting with some lenders in the Colorado area and inviting them to come and see what we do at NAFHAC and see what Genesis can be to their lenders and to see just how amazing we're going to be. Okay, so was this helpful, everybody? And it's now, and so I've got your names that you've written down here. So I'm going to get you, and those of you who've listed here that you want to attend, I've got your names now. Thank you so much. So now let's just start off at the top of the list, and we're going to take Ludwig first. So Ludwig, you are self-muted, so please unmute yourself. You've got 1 minute to tell me what's going on in your world, and apart from looking for contractors, is there anything we can do to help you?
No, not at the moment. That's what my biggest problem is. It's just trying to find a contractor that's going to answer something and put a bid in. I got the lender calling again today wanting to know what's happening.
Then I would simply tell the lender, I'm just as tied, my hands are just as tied as yours. Perhaps you might want to call your borrower and ask them if he can call the contractor, because they don't seem to be responding to me.
I know right now most of the contractors are slammed with work.
Then you've got to find the ones who are not slammed, the new ones, the ones who've only been in business 2 to 3 years, who haven't yet built up a base yet, who are still getting their feet wet, who would appreciate this opportunity to have money handed them on a plate. Those are the ones who are in the chambers of commerces. Those are the ones who are affiliates at these realtor boards and things of that nature, because they're trying to get their name out in the quickest possible way. And go on Craigslist.
Yeah, Craigslist, I haven't tried that yet.
Okay. All right. Well, if you have any questions, go ahead and schedule a one-on-one coaching session so that we can be able to brainstorm a little bit more. But again, this is not your ultimate responsibility. It's just it's the responsibility of the borrower.
Yep.
Okay. Did it rain? Did it rain there today? It rained here in Orlando, which is kind of fun.
Good. I'm in Tampa. It did not rain here, so you can have it over there.
Did you have another question?
Yeah, when are we going to have lunch?
I'm going to be here through next Friday. So why don't you let's plan a day next week.
All right.
Okay, come on.
Make it happen.
All right, perfect. Call me tomorrow. Right. I'll be here all day.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye-bye. And next is Chad, birthday boy Dunham. Hey, Chad.
Hello, Catherine.
How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for the video. I actually did not see that till you mentioned it earlier. I have a problem with Skype that I've been on inspections and everyone on Skype's just blowing up my phone, so I had to disable all notifications so I don't always jump on there to check messages.
I get it. No problem. Well, at least you know that I did send it to you on your birthday.
Yep, and I appreciate it.
So what's up in your world? Are you coming to House of Horrors?
the House of Horrors announcement you had a couple weeks ago was definitely the reason why I'm on tonight. I wanted more information on this because I want to make that happen. It sounds like it's going to be a very fun event. I'm going to learn a few things and hopefully refine my process a little bit more.
Excellent.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Wonderful. We're going to see you there.
Yep.
And I'll have more details. I'll have more details as far as the hotel information, and I'll have more details about the hotel for the reservations and things. But go ahead, guys, and book your airfare so that you can be ready to rock and roll 8 a.m. Friday morning at the facility. Okay, so you want to fly in Thursday night, and then you can make your flights out, in the afternoon on Saturday, or if you want to stay till Sunday, I'm going to still be there. So if you guys want to just hang out, have a couple drinks, maybe, just basically just hang out Saturday night, just as, as a family, as it were, I'm okay with that too. So whatever you guys want to do, I will be staying through the couple days after that.
I'm actually planning on a couple personal days there as well. Trying to get some of my friends to come so we can go hit some of the breweries in the area.
There you go, breweries. That's a concept. Thank you. Okay, so anything in your 203K world that we need to talk about besides breweries?
My 203K world's pretty hopping right now, I guess would be the best word. I've got several new projects kicking up. I've got a lender that they found out about me, so then they're pretty excited. And this is the one where the lady, she actually works for the lending company. So they had to go to a different lender for her loan. Well, now it's being passed around. So a few more's kicked in because of that. I do have one question.
Yes.
And this is the first time this has come up for me, and I've been able to manage it so far, but I just want to figure out what's going to happen on this next step, which is going to happen either tonight or tomorrow. But I've had my first contractor bid meeting with just 2 contractors, and the bids are in. I'm waiting on for them to give me like who they want to use. I have a soft answer, but I don't have the concrete answer. So what happens at this point? I know I have to select the winning bid, but does Genesis automatically send out an email to everyone involved, or do I have to make comments personally?
Okay,
how does that work?
What'll happen is that you get the bids, and you print the PDFs, and you save the PDF files of the bids, and you send them to the borrower so that the borrower can choose the contractor that they want to bid.
Right.
Okay. So once they've made their selection of the contractor, then you're going to go into Genesis and you're going to select the contractor who you want to be the winning bidder. And he will be notified that he's the winning bidder. The other contractors will see on their Genesis screen that they were not the successful bidder.
Okay. Both of these contractors, they've done previous projects for me. They're both excited about these things. And I keep telling them, I say, you guys keep doing good work. I'll keep feeding you. So
absolutely, that's exactly right. Yeah, I have about 6 contractors who are really my go-to contractors that show up at almost all my bids, that are basically just feeding up, flipping, flopping back and forth. One will win the one bid, the other will win the other, and just, doing it that way. So yeah, so once you get a group, who are able to see the value of this, you will be okay. And that speaks to you, Ludwig. Once you get a group of people who are contractors who really love this and know that they're going to be able to get fed very successfully from you, then they will keep coming back to you.
Yeah, I've actually had a contractor make a joke that's like, let me get a few more of these and I'll start giving you a kickback on some of this. I was like, well, that's not necessary.
No, it's not necessary. Just do a good job for my client is the only reward I need. That's what I tell people all the time. Just do a good job for my client. That's exactly right. Excellent. Very good.
That's everything I've got for now. So
all right,
thank you very much.
I'll see you in about a little over a month.
Yep.
Thank you. Hey, Jack. Jack, you there? Unmute yourself. Hey, there you go.
I'm here.
Hey, so what's going on? We talked yesterday and we've talked a little bit today. Is there anything else you want to share about what's going on? Are you coming to House of Horrors?
Yeah, why not? I've got a friend I think I'll visit in a couple days personal time as well.
Excellent.
And I've been involved with InterNAFHAC since they began. So It'd be nice
Excellent.
to finally go up there and say hello to all the guys.
Fantastic. So this project that we started together and you keyed in the numbers and you put together your final work write-up, did you get paid by your client?
You know what? I hope you're not mad at me, but no. I had the lender call me and pitch me every way from Saturday to please let the 150 slide until closing. She needed the paperwork. I kind of got the impression that, you know, I let this slide a little too long and kind of felt an obligation to the client to go ahead. You know, I'm not worried about it, so I went ahead and
150 bucks
gave her.
I wouldn't have a problem with. No, but
No.
we've had members who have let $500, $600, and $700 write-ups wait to closing, and the deals have never closed, and they never got their money.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with you doing that, Jack. Absolutely not. If it shows good faith to the lender and that lender uses you again, I have no problem with that at all. So you gave her
Thank you.
paperwork, and she's happy with her paperwork, I take it.
Yeah, I sent it to her, and she thanked me 5 times over. So hopefully I saved it, because I really do feel like I let it run on too long without, you know, asking for a little more help on it and getting it organized. So
No problem. But now you know that when in doubt, call me. Doesn't matter. Just call.
Yep, you made that clear, and it's hard for us to learn that we can kind of admit to a stupid mistake, or misspellings are okay. You're not being judgmental about our questions.
No.
You know,
And then was I judgmental?
What?
And was I judgmental?
No, but you helped me correct some stupid little typos that I really appreciated. And, you know, you didn't make me feel bad about it. We just moved on.
Isn't that what a good mentor does?
Mac, though, I want to almost buy you a Mac.
I don't. No, actually, Howard, the great and powerful Ross, who does all of our programming, he has a Mac. And he bought it so that he could test Genesis on it. I will never go near it, okay? I might have to get myself an iPad just so I can test Genesis and some other things that we're doing on the way it looks on an iPad. So I may have to buy a used iPad somewhere. I cannot stand them, but for testing purposes only, because I love my Androids. I've got an Android tablet, I've got an Android phone, and I have a PC. So
that's half a Mac.
That's half a Mac. All right, Jack, you're done. I'm going to somebody else so we can get off the line on time tonight. Okay.
Thanks for your help.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye.
Hey, James Mitchell, how are you this evening? Unmute yourself, James.
I just unmuted you on my Mac.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna hang all of you up, okay? What's going on?
Long live the Mac.
All right, long live the Mac. Okay, I'm gonna put a poll up that says how many people have Macs, and then every single one of you, I'm gonna double your fees. So, what's up, James?
Well, we had our coaching call. What was that, last week or the week before?
Yeah.
That was a cold call from an agent. Contacted that agent back to find out who the lender was that I should be talking with. Long story short is that fell through. Before I had even called them back.
Okay.
Got another call from another lender. They wanted to work right up like yesterday, and I said it doesn't really work like that. And so that was too much for them, but they said that they definitely want to keep me in their call list for future 203Ks.
Yeah, I mean, these lenders don't realize that a work write-up doesn't just happen. So now this is a really good point, okay, because what you're going to say to the lender is this: I can possibly go out to the property in a day or two, but unless the client already has a contractor bid, and in the rare situation that bid includes all the necessary mandatory repairs that I'm going to identify when I get out to the property, I cannot create the work write-up because it won't be available for me to create, because the information won't be ready from the contractor, who is what I use to base my numbers on. And so when you explain it to them, they're not going to ever close. So now, here's the thing. No consultant can give them the report. So what you have to do, instead of saying, no, I can't do it, you have to say, I can get it to you as soon as possible, and I can arrange to get out to the property on X, Y, and Z date, but it doesn't depend on me whether or not you get the work write-up. It depends on if there's a contractor that already has numbers in place. Does the client already have a contractor with numbers already in place? Because if they do, and that contractor's numbers include everything, I can literally get you a report within a few short days. But until I see the property, until I see the contractor, until I see what's going on in the home, no consultant can make you a determination of how long it will be. So would you like me to go ahead and get this started so you can get it closed? That's what you want to say. Don't say no, just tell them, because in reality, they're not going to get the write-up tomorrow or the next day from anybody. And what they really are is finding out who can do it as quickly as possible. So manage expectations. That's what was in this article, right? It said managing the expectations of the parties involved so that there's no misunderstanding of what to expect. So now please, in the future, just simply say, yeah, I can get out right away. And once I take a look at the project, I can let you know how quickly I can get you the report. And if everything is in place, yeah, I can truly get you a work write-up in a few short days. Because you can. If there's a contractor bid already in place, and it includes all the necessary safety and soundness repairs, you can go straight to work write-up from Genesis and just key his numbers in and create your work write-up in a matter of a day. You can do it.
Yep, well, and that's why I'm a member of your program, is to get that kind of coaching. So appreciate that.
No problem. So yeah, so just call them back and simply let them know that I would call that lender back tomorrow and say, hey, how's it going? Did you find a consultant who can do the report? Did you get, no, I wouldn't ask you if you can find a consultant. Did you get that work write-up report done? Okay. And then you can say, and then I would say, let me, can I just clarify what I was saying to you the other day? I wasn't saying that I couldn't do the report in a day. I absolutely can do a work write-up in a day if I have the following things in my hand. I have to have gone out to the property. I have to physically assess it. I have to have a validated contractor with an accurate bid that includes all the mandatory safety and soundness repairs, including breakdown in material and labor. And I have to have information on what the municipality requires as far as permits. If I have all that information in my hand, I can deliver you a report in as little as one day. So where are you at with this project? So just let them know. And they may say, oh, well, you can. Well, you know what? Here. No, I didn't find anybody. If you can do that, that's fine. Because they will push settlement back. Because guess what? They have to push settlement back because they're not going to get anybody. So give them a call, manage the expectations, let them know I can do a report in one day. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I got to have everything in place. And in most cases, I'm unable to get the information I need. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Do you think you're coming to House of Horrors?
I'd like to. We'll see if I can make it happen.
Excellent. Okay, we'll work on it. Thank you. Look forward to it.
Great. Thanks.
Okay, Oni, where's my milkshake? Where's my ice cream sundae? I should have just gotten the Oreo Blizzard. They probably wouldn't have messed that up. Go ahead, Oni. I can't hear you. You've unmuted yourself, but you're still not talking. And that's not totally a bad thing. I love Oni. He's in Oregon or Utah, whichever I want it to be.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. I just switched microphones, but I don't know what I switched to. And I have a terrible internet connection, so I'm not broken up and everything because you guys have been.
Because you're in Utah.
Utah, the very eastern part of Oregon.
The eastern part of Oregon.
So you told us the phone was going to just start ringing. I think I told you this yesterday during our coaching call. Last week, in 2 days, I got 3 calls, and 2 of them have turned into live projects. And if anybody isn't taking advantage of their coaching call, they are missing a huge opportunity. So just a plug for those coaching calls because they're great. I have one question.
Yes.
I had, in today's visit, there was water in the crawl space. I know it doesn't rain as much there. We get a lot of rain here. So I had water in the crawl space, and I'm just trying to figure out that's a mandatory item for HUD, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it for you?
Oh, there's water in every crawl space here. So
How much water is it? Is it a lot of water or is it just some seepage? Is it? What is the
it's a number.
What is the cause of the water getting into the crawl space? Has that been identified, and can that be corrected?
That's the $64,000 question, and that's my question: is how do I put this in the work write-up? Because it's going to take somebody some figuring out to figure out whether it's a foundation drain that's blocked, or whether it's surface runoff, or whether it's a high water table and it needs a sump pump and a perimeter drain. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it in the work write-up.
Okay, you're not going to put that
in the work write-up, but in the preliminary write-up.
Okay, yeah, in the preliminary write-up, that's going to be the page for consultant comments. Okay, it doesn't go in the preliminary work write-up. That's an additional study and additional testing required in order for you to complete the work write-up.
Okay.
So your preliminary report will be, so basically under basements, you're going to stick it under basement. You're going to put as a line item in your preliminary work write-up, evaluate and eliminate cause of water. So you're going to basically say crawl space water, correct crawl space water issue will be the description of the line item. Okay, correct crawl space water issue. And then under the description line, I think it's 125 characters, whatever it is in there for the description. Let me go to Genesis and see right now. So let me open that up. And let's see, Genesis. Okay.
I think it's 256.
Yeah, 256. So you're going to write in that 256 character, contractor to identify cause of water ponding or pooling in crawl space and identify cost estimate prior to work write-up. And so you put a large number, and let's say you put in $3,000, and then this is a preliminary estimate. They are not going to be able to do anything until they get this extra test done in the final work write-up. And so under your additional consultant comments, you're going to put down what you just said. Additional studies by foundation specialists or sump pump specialists or drain line specialists or whomever needed to ascertain cause of significant water ponding in crawl space. Report must be delivered to consultant with associated costs prior to work write-up. Because you can't do a work write-up till you know what the repairs are that need to be done.
Gotcha. And so who's going to end up paying for that typically, or is that a negotiation point?
The borrower will pay for the evaluation, okay? Borrower pays for the cost for the inspections, and that's allowable fees that are able to be reimbursed to them.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. And then let's say, for example, it's like a $30,000 project, then the borrower and the realtor may decide to go back to the listing agent and the seller and ask for some sort of reduction in sale price to offset this repair, because it's going to be a substantial change to the after repaired value.
Gotcha. Okay, so then once I have that in there, I can go ahead and send out for contractor bid and everything, because it'd be up to the contractor to figure it out, or?
Yes, thank you, yes.
Okay.
Give that boy a gold star.
I would rather have the Oreo Blizzard.
Oreo. I would rather you come to House of Horrors. That's what I would rather.
Florida.
Florida. You're coming to Florida. Okay, we'll see you in Florida.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, excellent. Okay, so who else is next on our list? Patrick Worrell. Hi, Patrick. Unmute yourself, Patrick. Oh, I had you muted, so now I have unmuted you, so you can self-mute. Self-unmute, actually. Patrick, where are you? Patrick, I just muted you because you were at a party, okay? And I cannot, I'm not in my office and it's too noisy here, but thanks. Great meeting. Thanks for talking about work write-up. Do you think you'll be coming to the House of Horrors? So he's obviously he's You know what? I got to admire him. He might be sitting at a Panera someplace. You notice how I like Panera over Starbucks. He might be sitting at a Panera or McDonald's trying to get this meeting in because he couldn't do it at home for whatever reason, and I admire him for that. So, so Patrick's coming to House of Horrors, and we'll see him there. All right, congratulations, Patrick, and thank you so much for being on the call. And last but not least, Tom Kruger. Are we going to see you at House of Horrors? I've just unmuted you, Tom. Tom, you there? There you go. We hear you. Tom, you there? Okay, Tom must be having some technical difficulty. He has been typing into the chat box, so maybe his chat's not, maybe his microphone's not working. I gave all of you guys microphones last year, but you know what? They break just as easy as nothing. I have a beautiful mic that I'm giving away for free to anybody who wants it because it's no longer compatible with my Windows 10 PC. Don't say anything, you Mac users. I don't want to hear it. So I guess Tom's having some technical difficulties. So I'm going to just basically say, Tom, we're hoping to see you in at the House of Horrors. I think you said you are coming. Let me check my little list of people who signed up. So, yep, Tom is. Let's see, Tom. I hear some noise to start talking, Tom, if you're there. There you are. I heard you. Okay, so Tom, must be something wrong with your computer. So guys, I'm going to end the call. I'm going to, everybody unmute yourselves except for you, Patrick, because you are in a very bad place. And I just want to thank you all so much for being on the call tonight. So was this a helpful call?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so all of you are going to go out there and drum up some contractors?
Yes.
Okay, and you're going to print this article, correct? You're going to print this article. You're going to add this alert on your computer in Google to get alerts about these things, and you're going to prepare for 203K Discovery Days in Boulder, Colorado, May 5th and 6th, right? That's your
Right.
homework, that's your homework assignment until the tech call, which is going to be the second Thursday morning in April. And let's see. Tom wrote done, yes, yes. He has a daughter who lives in Denver, so he's absolutely on board. All right, guys, we're going to see you then, and I will talk to you on the other side of April. And until I'm able to support you in the future, you know I love doing it. So be outstanding. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
All right.